Hello everybody and welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you have never been here before. My name is Carolyn and I am so excited to be bringing you guys this video because, as you can tell from the title, it is my Etsy restock. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about the new author portraits that I have, and if you are wondering what is an author portrait, what do I sell on Etsy, then I will tell you guys all about that. Just a little background information about me. I graduated university last Thursday on the 20th, and I am an illustration major, so I graduated with my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Illustration and my minor in English and Writing. And my aspirations and desires professionally are to become a book illustrator and a book designer, as well as so many other things, a writer, an entrepreneur. I really am so passionate about so many different things, so that's kind of what this YouTube channel is, sort of talking about all my passions. But today we are going to be talking about my Etsy shop and my author portraits. My author portraits started as a university project, actually. I was taking a digital arts class, and my professor wanted us to have a mixed media piece, so he wanted us to either start with a digital piece and turn it traditional, like print it out and then add watercolors or graphite or something, traditional medium to it, or what I did was I took a traditional drawing and I scanned it into Photoshop and added digital techniques. And that's how I got started with my author portraits. I have my original right here. So I started doing these author portraits just for this project, and then it really spun in and turned into this passion project of mine. So I titled it On the Page because the concept behind it is these author portraits are on the page of their written works. So here is the title page with Charles Dickens. I have on the page and then my contact information because that's what a requirement for the project. So these are the 4 original sketches. So we have Charles Dickens, Walt Whitman on the page of Leaves of Grass. We have Shakespeare on the page of Hamlet, and then Poe on the page of his handwritten manuscript of The Raven. Oh, there's my contact information. This I just said illustrated by Carolyn Castagna. So this was the original, and then I posted about it and so many people really liked them, and I started doing more of them, and then I decided to make prints of them and sell them on my Etsy. So I have been doing this for almost a year now, which is just incredible. The response that you guys have given me is mind-blowing, and I just seriously can't thank you enough. Your support means the world to me. It helps me do more, it helps me pursue my dreams and my passions, and I just am forever grateful. So I'm so excited to be continuing on growing my Etsy shop. I have so many plans for this channel and for the future now that I am a college graduate, which just blows my mind. I still can't believe that I'm technically not a student anymore. I've been a student my whole life, and now I am an illustrator, which is just incredible, and I'm so happy and I'm so excited. So yes, let's start talking about the postcards or prints. So these, I originally wanted them to be versatile. I wanted you to be able to use them as bookmarks, or use them as postcards or wall art, or frame them, or put them in your books as bookmarks. Anything you want to do with these is really what I wanted for you guys and for them. So I made them 4 inches by 6 inches, which I will put that in centimeters right here because I don't remember off the top of my head what it is in centimeters. But all the information will be on my Etsy shop. In the description section it says a little bit about my process and why I chose the text and the author of each one, and a little bit about me. Something that I will say before talking about the portraits, here are all of the ones that I will be stocking in this restock. I'm so excited to show them to you guys. Something that I just want to talk about is pricing and shipping, because I do international shipping, but because of COVID and other shipping restrictions, I can't ship to every single country in the world. So I will be linking down below the USPS, like the US Postal Service website, where they have a section where it says the countries that they are not accepting postage from, and they keep it updated. So instead of me listing certain ones, and it may change over time, I'm just going to leave a link so you guys can go to that link and check, make sure that your country is available to accept international shipping. Something that I will say is the countries that I get most of my orders from are the US, which of course I can always ship in the US because I am in the US, as the UK, which I'm pretty sure international shipping to the UK is opened. I get a lot from Italy, Norway, the Netherlands. Take a look at that link. I will always be looking for that link as well, and if there is some issue, then I will message you either on Etsy or some way if you have an issue with shipping, or if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. I will always answer you guys. Something else that I want to talk about is pricing. I did change the prices of the postcards just by $1. They were originally $7 in the past restocks, but I made them $8. Things have changed a little bit, my technique, the resources that I've used, just making them an extra $1 more just helps me a lot. I feel really funny about this topic. We even had so many lectures at university about pricing illustrations, pricing artwork, and it's a really touchy subject because it's one of those things that makes me pretty uncomfortable because I just don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to also sell myself short. So it's this whole mixed bag of, I was just questioning whether I should do it or not. It just would be a really big help for me, and it will help me create more content for you guys. It will give me more means to create more. And just your support and your enthusiasm for this and what I do is just forever appreciated. So yes, the postcards individually are $8. Some of them are two-sided, so you're getting 2 illustrations on one card. Those are $10 just because you are getting 2 illustrations on one card, because it's, you know, about time, resources, the supplies that I need to use, the time that it takes for me to do everything. It's really time consuming, but I love it so much and it brings me so much joy that it's just the best time consuming job ever. So it's really hard to talk about this. So many people have told me like to not sell myself short, and I always have a hard time just like dealing with like the aspect of pricing my artwork because, you know, I've done it all my life. I have drawn, and drawing is just a part of me. Painting, creating art is a part of who I am. So it's really hard to put a price tag on that. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so that is just a little bit about pricing. Something else that I will say is that the US shipping, I'm pretty sure, stays the same. For international shipping, the more postcards you get, the more the shipping prices will go up because it's done by weight. So the cost of shipping is more expensive the heavier the package is. So just something to keep in mind. I try to make shipping as reasonable as possible, but also so that I have enough coverage to pay for it myself. With that being said, I am going to start talking about the postcards now because I'm just so excited to show them to you. Oh my goodness. And I also will show the sizes compared to different books if you want to use them as bookmarks, or if you want to frame them, that's totally up to you. It's whatever you want to do with them, feel free. You want to buy them and throw them in the trash? That's up to you. Please don't do that, but that's okay if you do. Okay, so I will just start showing you guys. So the first one I have here is L.M. Montgomery on the page of Anne of Green Gables. So this is the title page of Anne of Green Gables, and then on the other side it is the first page of Anne of Green Gables. I absolutely adore Anne of Green Gables, and L.M. Montgomery's words, her writing is so inspiring to me, so I of course had to add her to my catalog of authors. We have some white detailing around her hair to really make the text pop, because whenever there's a darker background, I like to have lighter text. Whenever there is a lighter background, the darker text just stands out a bit better. So that's a little reasoning behind why I do what I do. The next one I am so in love with, that is Emily Dickinson on the page of her envelope poems. So this is one side of her envelope poems, and then the other side looks like this. They're just other envelope poems. And these have her own handwriting. They are actual reproductions of her exact envelope poems. And so if you don't know, Emily Dickinson wrote on a lot of scrap piece of paper, specifically envelopes. She would just compose these really small, simple, or sometimes larger poems, and I was always baffled by that because I just think it's incredible. Like, her genius and her poetic emotions were so energetic that she had to scribble them down on anything that she could find. I just think that that's incredible. So I love her envelope poems, and I'm so happy to now add her to our catalog of authors. The next one we have is another favorite. Oh my goodness. This one is Fyodor Dostoevsky on the page of his handwritten manuscript of Crime and Punishment, and it also has his hand-drawn sketches. So something that I find fascinating about Fyodor Dostoevsky is he used to draw in his manuscripts and on his manuscripts, and he would try to come up and sort of put down the images of his characters that he had in his brain on the paper and page of his manuscript. While he was writing the story, he would do little sketches. Is that not the most incredible thing you've ever heard? I'm so blown away by that, because me being an aspiring writer and an illustrator, that's just like my two joys coming together. So this is Fyodor Dostoevsky, and then on the other side is another sketch right here, and then more of the handwritten manuscript of Crime and Punishment. I chose Crime and Punishment because that is the only Dostoevsky I've read, and I really enjoyed it when I did, and I'm so excited to read more from him. I also feel like Crime and Punishment is one of his most popular works, so I'm really excited though to read the Brothers Karamazov and also The Idiot. Those are two that are really high on my list, as well as Notes from the Underground, and I do have White Nights. So many Russian authors and Russian classics and Dostoevsky's that I want to read. The next one we have is, of course, Oscar Wilde. If you guys haven't seen it, I did a whole video on my YouTube channel about me drawing this portrait, so you can see it from start to finish, how I create my on-the-page author portraits, just so you guys can get a little inside look as how I do what I do. It's all set to music. I don't talk throughout it, so it's more of a visual learning process. I could try to do a tutorial, but I feel like I don't know if that would be something you're interested in. So anyway, if you want to see how I drew my portrait for Oscar Wilde, then you can find that on my YouTube channel. And so this is the title page of The Picture of Dorian Gray, and then on the other side it is the handwritten manuscript of the first page of The Picture of Dorian Gray. And I just love it when I can have the handwriting of the actual author. I think it adds such a personal element. It's really combining the author with, because the handwriting is so personal, it's combining their presence of their page, the actual authentic page, the paper that they put the story on originally, and their faces. So I just am so excited to have Oscar Wilde, because he is one of my favorite authors, and of course The Picture of Dorian Gray is just one of the best books ever. Love it so much. So yes, I hope you guys like this one. The next one, okay, so those are all of my newest ones, I believe. Then we are going into, I have a few older portraits that I have revamped. So something that I love about my Etsy shop is that I can do whatever I want with it. So I took some of my older author portraits and I created them and did things new to them. So whenever I do more author portraits, it's always a learning process. I figure out different techniques that I can use to make them even more exciting or better, essentially. I figure out things that work and don't work, and I try to perfect my images. So these next ones are older portraits that I have redone and revamped. So I always feel like that's exciting, because with my Etsy shop you never really know what I'm going to do with my portraits. So if you guys have, like for instance, my first one that I have revamped is Charles Dickens. So if you have the original Charles Dickens, it's kind of like Pokemon cards, like you want to collect them. So I don't know if you would want to collect them. I like collecting my own portraits and seeing the changes that I've made, but I think it'll be more exciting to see the things that I do and to change them, maybe add different text for each author. So let's say I can, instead of putting The Picture of Dorian Gray or Great Expectations on Charles Dickens, I can change it. So it's very versatile. I can really do whatever I want with this. Anyway, so we have Charles Dickens on the page of his handwritten manuscript for Great Expectations. This is the first page, his original handwriting with his lots and lots of scribbles. I watched a lecture about Charles Dickens once, and they said that he used to write so fast that he would like scribble, and it was kind of like you can see the speed in his pen, and you really can, looking at this, you can see that his mind was reeling and it was going, and he was just like continually, like speedily writing his story, and I love that. So of course we have Charles Dickens also on the page of Oliver Twist, because this is the, oh my gosh, I just realized I forgot one of the portraits because I put it in a different place. I'm so silly. I'll go get it after I talk about this one. But anyway, so this is on the page of Oliver Twist because Oliver Twist is his second novel after The Pickwick Papers. That's what made me think of it. The Pickwick Papers is going to be on the next one, which is the one that is almost the most exciting. Let me go get it. I can't believe I almost forgot about it. The one portrait that I think I am the most excited about, and I got the most of in terms of the amount that I've bought, because I get them from an online printer and I always select the quantity. I got 50 of these. I kept one for myself and I am gifting one to someone special. Hello Emma, if you're watching this. I haven't told you yet, but anyway, so the next one that I have is for the Dickens versus Tolstoy book club readers, and that is young Leo Tolstoy on the page of his handwritten manuscript for War and Peace. And then on the other side, because you have to pick a side, Dickens or Tolstoy, young Charles Dickens on the page of the original title page of The Pickwick Papers. And I am so excited for this postcard. So this one, like I said earlier, is $10 because it does have two portraits on one. So because, you know, it takes more time, it takes more energy, and it's just, you're getting two for the price of one. I hope that that's okay. God, I feel so funny about this, but anyway, okay. So I am so excited about this one because Leo Tolstoy, like Fyodor Dostoevsky, drew inside his manuscript. So Dostoevsky drew sometimes on the margins, sometimes in between his paragraphs, but Leo Tolstoy actually drew inside of his text. So you can vaguely see there's a young boy right here, there's a woman right here, and there is another character right here, but it gets kind of lost in the words. And I was doing some research and I think it said who the characters were, but I honestly can't remember. They're obviously part of War and Peace, so they're one of the main characters in War and Peace, but I am just so in awe of that, and I can't believe that Fyodor Dostoevsky and Leo Tolstoy drew in their manuscripts. Like, that's just incredible. So of course we have a young Tolstoy because we have older Tolstoy coming soon, and we also have older Dickens. So if you are a major Dickens fan, we have young Dickens, we have older Dickens. Pick your Dickens. Pick your fighter. Like I said, this can be used as a bookmark, so if you are participating in the Dickens versus Tolstoy debate and you want to use this as a bookmark for your Dickens and Tolstoy reads, this was sort of to commemorate the first two works that we have read from them, except we started with Childhood, Boyhood, Youth, but this is War and Peace because I felt like War and Peace was a bit more poetic, even though I absolutely adore Childhood, Boyhood, Youth. But I did put The Pickwick Papers on young Dickens because it was his first work. So I hope you guys like this one and are excited about it. I think this one might be my favorite just because Dickens versus Tolstoy means the world to me, and the fact that now we have a postcard, bookmark, art, wall print, whatever you want to call it, then it just makes me so happy. So, okay, the next one that we have is older Tolstoy. So this is from an original, which do I have? Oh, yes I do. It's in my War and Peace, which is right here. Okay, so I'm actually using it currently as a bookmark in War and Peace because I'm currently reading War and Peace for Dickens and Tolstoy. This is the older version. So this was the first version that I came out with. It has older Leo Tolstoy on the page of Anna Karenina, and then on the other side it has Leo Tolstoy on the page of the Russian translation. So this is the original Russian text. But then I decided to make it a bit more exciting, I would change it up a little bit for this restock. So we have the same page with the Russian text on this side with the same illustration, but recently I did a 3-figure portrait of Leo Tolstoy in charcoals, really as an exercise, but then it kind of turned into this piece that I ended up absolutely loving. And so that piece I actually have framed on my wall, but now you guys can have it and frame it on your wall or use it as a bookmark, and it looks like this. So we have 3 images of Leo Tolstoy. I really wanted to try to just draw different views of his face. I think that structurally his face is really, really interesting, and it's perfect to draw and to learn from, and I just love drawing his portrait. I don't know if it's because I love his writing so much, but I just really love his portraits. I think there's something so fascinating and beautiful about him and about the way that he looked and presented himself, and he just exudes this feeling of Tolstoyan goodness, and I just love drawing him. So that's why I did 3 portraits of him. This is in charcoal on charcoal paper. It is toned paper. I just put his signature on top to combine the on-the-page aspect of the illustration. So I am so excited about this one, and I hope you guys like the fact that you're getting 2 for 1. So again, this one will be $10 instead of $8 because you are getting 2. Which I'm really happy about, because I feel like the more art I can give you, the happier that makes me. So yes. The next one that I have is another revamped portrait, and this one is of Walt Whitman. The original Walt Whitman I have is actually right here, so I put him on the page of Leaves of Grass. This is my favorite poem, Oh Me, Oh Life, and then on the other side it is just the title page of a random edition of Leaves of Grass. And also, I didn't really do too much to make it 3-dimensional and to work with the actual portrait and the digital aspect, but with this new version, you guys can see I added a bit more tonality and I added some more depth, lights and darks to really make the whole piece pop and look a bit more 3-dimensional. So that is the difference. So the new version, I love how it came out. The text that I included on this portrait is from Leaves of Grass, but it's actually from a smaller collection called Live Oak with Moss, and I got that collection from a wonderful friend named Amelia. She sent it to my P.O. box, and I had no clue that this existed. And it's basically this really small collection of poems that Walt Whitman actually hid inside of Leaves of Grass, but it was then discovered that it kind of went in a specific chronological order, and it sort of told this story of his homosexuality, because Walt Whitman was homosexual and he was sort of one of the first people to really confront it and write about it poetically, at least in America, and in his time it was not often spoken about, and he was sort of one of the first people to really write about it so honestly and purely and truthfully, and he obviously didn't go about publishing it because it wouldn't have been publishable, they wouldn't have accepted it, but he sort of did what he had to do and he hid it inside of Leaves of Grass, which I just think is incredible. So anyway, these 2 poems, the front and the back, are from Live Oak with Moss. So you can see right at the top, it has the title, and it also has one of the first or second poems. It has his pencil markings on here, number 14, page 360, and his beautiful handwriting. I love his handwriting, it is so gorgeous. And then on this side is one of my favorite poems. I would love to do a whole video, maybe just about my favorite Walt Whitman poems, or reading poetry, or something to do with poetry. Also Mary Oliver as well, because whenever I think of Walt Whitman, I think of Mary Oliver, because I feel like they hold the same spot in my heart, but slightly different. Anyway, I would love to do a Mary Oliver portrait. That will be coming soon. But yes, so these are both from Live Oak with Moss, which is just, if you haven't read that poetry collection, it is incredible. It is amazing. oh my goodness. The next ones that I have are actually just restocks from past portraits. Some of them I changed or tweaked just a little bit. I didn't change the text, I believe, but I just changed the lights and darks a bit. I'm trying to describe it in a way that makes sense to non-artists, as well as if you're an artist then maybe it makes sense to you. But the first one that I have is, of course, Charlotte Bronte, because everyone loves Charlotte Bronte. She is usually one of the authors that sells out the fastest, so I of course had to restock her again. She is on the page of Jane Eyre, of course, so this is the first page and this is the title page. She was from my first stock, my first Etsy release ever, so she holds a very special place in my heart. And then we have her sister, Emily Bronte, is back and better than ever. I changed a few little lights and darks things about her portrait, not too much, and she's on the page. This is the first page of Wuthering Heights, and this is the title page of Wuthering Heights. And then, of course, to add to the trio, we have Anne Bronte. She is on the page of The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. This is the title page, and then we have the first page, chapter 1 of The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. So I'm so excited to have the Brontes back because a lot of you guys were so excited to see them on there and they sold out pretty quickly, so I wanted to have them back again. So if you didn't get your hands on them, then now you can. And then the next one that I have restocked, same with the Brontes, we have Virginia Woolf. A lot of people loved Virginia Woolf and she sold out pretty quickly, so of course I had to bring her back. And she is on the page of Mrs. Dalloway on this side, and then on this side she is on the page of A Room of One's Own, which is just, both are two of my favorite classics, and I love Virginia Woolf and I'm so excited to have her back for you guys. And then the next one is, of course, Jane Austen. Everyone loves Jane Austen. I love Jane Austen. She is just amazing. And again, she sold out pretty quickly, so I wanted to get her back. She is on the page, this is the first page of Pride and Prejudice, and then she is on the title page of Pride and Prejudice. I love this portrait. I think Jane Austen's portrait is so incredibly iconic, so I'm very excited to have her back. Then the next one, we have William Shakespeare on the page of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and then also on the page of A Midsummer Night's Dream. So this is the folio and quarto editions, so that it is both editions of Shakespeare's works. So A Midsummer Night's Dream is my favorite Shakespeare comedy, and I just really love it, so that's why he is on the page of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I'm really happy to have him back again because he is just one of my favorites as well. I love the way that the text sort of interweaves with the illustration, with the sketch. I think it's really nice. So that is Shakespeare. And then last but certainly not least, we have Victor Hugo, and he is on the page of his handwritten manuscript of Les Miserables, and then on the other side he is on the title page of Les Mis. And I asked you guys on my Instagram which authors you would like to see back the most, and a lot of you said the ones that I've included. And I will be having future restocks where I have other authors, like Poe is right behind me. Who is that? F. Scott Fitzgerald is back there, so I am planning on having more authors, but for now I wanted to sort of select which ones to restock. All of them will probably circulate back at least once more. I mean, I'm sure they will circle back more, but I think what I'm most excited about is releasing new portraits. And then if you guys have a portrait that you're really excited about and that you didn't get your hands on that is a past portrait, then I would be so happy to bring it back like I have been doing. So my whole plan is to continue making new portraits and releasing those, but also if you have a favorite that you want me to bring back, then definitely let me know. I have so many plans for my Etsy shop. I have not just authors that I'm going to sketch, and not just the text of their books that I'm going to put on the page. So I have so many plans, but for now, that is my Etsy restock. I hope you guys are excited. If you have any questions, I will be so happy to answer them. And I will be linking everything that you need to know about my Etsy shop. The link to my Etsy shop will be down below. Any videos that I've mentioned, my original video that I talk about my author portraits in case you want to see sort of how far things have come. But before I do that, something that I just realized is I didn't show you the size difference of the different editions. I'll do the Penguin English Library. Here is Villette by Charlotte Bronte. It fits perfectly right in and it closes right up, so it's like that size. I don't think they're too big for bookmarks. I use them for bookmarks and I think that they're fine. I've seen quite a few of you use them for bookmarks. I will do a little slideshow because I think it's just really, it's very special to me. A lot of you guys have uploaded pictures to my actual Etsy displaying your on the page author portraits and using them as bookmarks or framing them, so I will put pictures up so you guys can see. I am just so grateful for all of the incredible comments and the sweet reviews that you leave in my Etsy shop review section, and your enthusiasm, your messages that you leave me. You have no idea how much joy they bring to me, and you are seriously making all of my dreams come true, so thank you so much for all your support. I cannot express how much it means to me, so I want to say the biggest thank you so much. And I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. If I am, I will put it in the description box, but I think that that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you are going to be buying anything from my Etsy shop, then thank you so much. Giving you a really big hug. I appreciate your support and your enthusiasm and your kindness and your love so much. I'm sending all of my love right back to you guys. I hope you're doing well and reading some amazing books. I will see you guys soon in another video. Happy reading!